Hello, so today I'm going to show you how I make my standard sourdough bread, or at least the one that's standard at the moment, because I changed this with me. So we have our sourdough, it's really happy. You see how that is all foamy? So that is good. You want your sourdough to be foamy, and when you put a spoon into it, you want it to feel a bit like a chocolate mousse, but more acidic. So here we have it. So now before we start any baking, we have to save a bit of the sourdough culture for future baking, sourdough starter. So again, whisk furiously, important step of every baking. And then we're just going to pour a bit, say about half a deciliter into the mug of your choice. Just something that you can put in your refrigerator. And now I like this one because the lid doesn't close, like this doesn't screw on. You just put the lid on so you can breathe. Because with something that is alive, you might have the buildup of gas happening. So if you put it in a jar and you screw on the cork, you might have an explosion on your hands. But this is what we're going to save for later. So that's going back into the refrigerator. Now for the bread, for the actual baking of the bread. So we have a lot of nice sourdough, and I like that because I like making my sourdough bread really taste of sourdough. So we put that in a bowl. Here we go. And then I use about 3 deciliters of water. Just going to measure. And that's 3 deciliters. Put that in with the sourdough. Bit of salt. I take about 2 pinches. This really depends on how salty you like your bread. And now you remember the important step: whisk furiously. Not that furiously. So what I'm doing here is that I am homogenizing the water and the sourdough into a kind of milky looking liquid, and a bit foamy, which is good. There we go. Now we're just going to add the flour. So I have pre-measured my flour. I use about, roughly, again, not rocket surgery, just, put in whatever you feel like. I have a bit, 1.5 deciliters of rye flour, about 1 deciliter of dinkel, about half a deciliter of bran to get even more texture to my bread, and then about 3 deciliters of wheat flour, and I'm using this wheat flour right now. So it's grind to 550. Just pour that in. And now use your hands. Don't use any tools. Don't go in there with a big spoon or anything else. In order to be a good baker, you need to know your dough. You need to know your flour and how a good dough is supposed to feel. And this, at least for me, it took some time to learn. I've been baking all of my own bread now for close to 5 years, I think. I have been baking sourdough bread for, it must be about 2 years. And I even went on an evening course to learn how to make really good sourdough bread, and I highly recommend that. I mean, of course, you can watch me and other bakers here on YouTube, but if you get the chance to go to someone who is a good baker and take a course over a weekend, that will improve your baking, because I can tell you what things are supposed to feel like and try and show you what they are supposed to look like, but to actually be there with someone who knows it and who can show you what the proper dough is supposed to feel like, that is absolutely excellent. This became a really lovely dough actually. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, I want a tiny bit more flour with that. Just tiny. Work that in. Sorry if the sound of the bowl is echoing a lot. I don't have a microphone, but I promise you, if you want to continue to watch me baking or do other things in the kitchen, I promise to buy a microphone to get better sound for you. Okay, oh lovely. Right, so I'm gonna try and describe this now. Wet and sticky, but still sort of keeping to it. So now it breaks because I have a lot of fibre in this, but that's good. But if you just gently pull at it, it comes with. So now I'm gonna form a sort of blob out of this. And I do that by forming my hand as a scoop and just going round, around, around, and trying to push so it all ends up in the middle, and I'm also putting it below itself, forming so that it stretches on the top. It becomes all nice. There we go. So now we have a blob. Then I use a dough scraper to get the excess dough off my hands. Just put that in there. So if you have any questions at all regarding baking, just put them in the comments and I will reply either in the comments or in a coming video. I have plans for making videos about what a sourdough is and how the bacterial culture actually works and what it does to your dough. Also a video about flour and how important it is to have good flour, how that really affects the result of your baking. And I also plan on making a video about kombucha, how to keep a kombucha culture, and how you can share that with your friends. So questions that have arisen since last video is, where do I get my sourdough culture? Well, if you're friends with me, I will give you one. If you happen to live in a faraway country, you can either start your own. There are instructions. I can give you some instructions also on how to start a sourdough. Or you can just ask someone who's already got one. Or if there's a bakery close by that you really like, that you think does very good bread, ask them. They might actually give you a bit of sourdough. Now that it's combined, we're going to let it sit now for 20 minutes and then I'm going to show you what happens. Wow. Alright, so now we're going to fold the dough. In order to develop all those nice gluten threads and to help the dough rise, we fold it. First, wet your hands in some cold water, not too wet. Make sure that they are covered. And then you grab an edge, an end of the dough, and you pull it gently and you fold it. Now we're going to do this 4 times. So turn this into a nice little box of dough. Grab it again, pull it, fold it. And we're going to repeat this process 2 to 3 times till the dough grows really stiff and it's hard. It becomes hard to fold it. And then the folding is done. So this is our first session of folding. Nice. So it looks like a cube. Now, and then we put the towel back on and let it sit for another 20 to 30 minutes. Now it's time for the second folding. Let's see how we're doing. It's still in a box shape, so that's good. It's got some integrity to it. And then grab the end that you think looks nicest. And you should feel now that it's getting a bit rougher to stretch. It's not as soft anymore. It's giving you a bit more resistance. Yes. The recipes I use are usually 1-to-2 ratios, meaning 1 part water and 2 parts flour. So for this recipe I had 3 deciliters of water and 6 deciliters of flour. And that's a good rough estimate for any bread, really, because then you will get a nice, moist but fluffy bread. Look at that, it's almost leaving the bowl now. Nice. Okay, wait for another 20 minutes and then we're going to do the last folding. So while I was away, the dough has flown over to the sink. No, actually, I just moved it because I wanted to spread out some flour on the working surface. And now I'm going to do the last stretching. I put my water bowl down in the sink to avoid splatter all over the place. Now we have a really nice dough here. I think this is going to become a lovely bread, actually. So do the last bit of the stretching. 2, 3. And by now, yes, now it's coming with me. So now for the last stretch, I pick it up. Here is our dough. Now we stretch it. Ah, so resistant. Flop it together, trying to give it some kind of shape, resembling, I don't know, any other geometrical form. Put it down. Now let it sit here for about maybe 20 minutes and let it meditate on its life actions and choices. And then we're going to form a loaf. I think it's come to some conclusions. Anyway, it looks good. So now for the last step before we let it rise in the refrigerator. So I use a tea strainer to spread flour. I think it's excellent, really cheap, and makes it a whole lot easier. Ooh, nice. You can feel that it's got lots of air bubbles, gas inside of it. It's good, that's what you want to feel. This is my absolute favorite tool. I use it all the time. Now we're going to loose the dough. This is going a bit stuck to the surface. Look at that. You can move it around a bit freely. Beautiful. Okay. So just gently push it out. Not too much, because you don't want to break all of these nice bubbles that you have inside. Just push it out gently like this. And then you grab the far up corners, well, it's a circle, but bear with me. Grab it, pull it, and then make sort of a braid, but with bread. Keep doing it, and roll it, roll it, roll it, turn it. There we go. And I have forgot to put flour on my towel. That. And then we put down the bread. Perfect. And now we just close up the seam. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a seam here. We just close that up. There we go. All nice and fluffy. So this is going to become the downside of the bread. You're going to see that when we flip it over into the pot that we will be baking in. So nighty night. Just tag that in ever so gently. There we go. So this is a rising basket. You can get these in kitchen stores. I bought these at the store that I buy flour. So just like this into the refrigerator, and in the morning this will be all nice and fluffy, and then we're going to bake it. Good morning. So the bread has been sleeping during the night. Now it looks like this. This is all nice and good. I have preheated the oven to 275 Celsius with an iron pot inside it. And now I'm going to take it out and I'm swiftly going to put my bread in, cut a line through my bread to let it expand more, and then put it in again. So this is all going to be very swift now, so be with me. Make sure you aim for the middle of your pot. Here we go, lovely. Don't burn your hands. Put it back in. Lower temperature to 250 and wait for 35 minutes. Now for the big reveal! I took off the lid just 2 minutes ago or so to let it get more of a crust. Here we go! Turn off the oven, and now let's see what we have. Look at that! Isn't she beautiful? So she's got a nice crust. She's got good height, I think, for being a bread made with so much fiber in it. If you make a bread with only wheat flour, it's easier to get it to rise to an impressive height, but I don't care much for only wheat. So now we're just going to cover her like that with a towel. Let it sit for about an hour or so before you cut into it. But here's our bread. I hope you will succeed in making lovely bread, and I promise to make other videos with other recipes.